to know the nature of ultimate reality. And by knowing the nature of ultimate reality, it helps us in fixing the goal or the objective for our presence or our being born in whichever species we are. We have seen Ikshatyadhikarana and Samanvayadhikarana. Couple of things were fixed in these two adhikaranas. One was Janmadhyasya Yataha. The creation is from Brahma, is what last whatever number of satsangas we had, we were trying to establish the fact that the creation is from Brahma. Now we have a very peculiar and odd situation at our hand. That what is called as creation is considered false, mithya. This is Maya, this is illusion, this is not true. We are told like this on one hand. Naiti, naiti. The substantial existence of the entire creation is completely abrogated in the scriptures. We also studied that creation is because of Brahman. Creation cannot sustain without Mai Adhyakshena Suyate Characharam. That means Charachara is having my Adhyakshata. That means Charachara exists. On one hand, we say nothing exists except Brahma. On the other hand, we say Char Achara exists and I am the Adhyaksha of that. Is creation there or is creation not there? If creation is there, then what is wrong in it? Because it is created by the Brahma and the creation is there, what is wrong in it? And if as a constituent of creation, I am suffering every now and then because I am born, I die, I get pain, sorrow, momentary happiness, disease. If creation is truth, creation is by the Brahma or the ultimate reality, then why it should be so painful? First question is whether the creation has happened or not. If it has not happened, then how Maya Adhyakshena Suyate Characharam? If at all it has happened, then why it is so painful? And it is painful because we identify ourselves with all this creation as a separate entity than me, Dvaita Bhava. We are told that it is because of you and me, separation between object and the subject, Pramata and the Prameya, that leads to this problem. Nistraigunyo bhava Arjunaha. Arjuna, go beyond the Trigunas. The world is of Trigunas. If the world is a creation from ultimate reality, why are you asking me to go beyond the Trigunas? Can ultimate reality or Brahma or Ishvara, can he create such a filthy thing that you want to go out of it? There are lots of paradoxes which metaphysically we need to resolve. Who is suffering? Lord's creation has suffering or it doesn't have suffering? We have been told that not only he creates, he enjoys the creation. He does rasa lila. Rasa is the dhatu. Raso vai swaha. Rasa means enjoyment, ultimate enjoyment. So Lord Krishna himself is enjoying the continuous rasa lila. Ananta Kala, Krishna Bhagavan is supposed to be enjoying the Rasa Leela. What kind of Rasa Leela? Where is that? If it is not part of my creation, is there another creation called Rasa Leela? Is creation one or many? Another paradox, another dilemma. How many creations are there? Is it that I am staying in one of the Lord's creation and there is somewhere where I can't reach, there is another creation or multiple creations are there I am not aware of? Because as it is, I am not aware of why the Jupiter is rotating at a speed which is phenomenal, why there are sodium vapors there, why methane gas is so much intense that even a small spark would explode the planet. What is methane gas doing there? I don't know. Why a black hole is just hogging up all the stars around it? What is it getting? Who has asked? Who created the black hole? What are they doing? What is my relation with the black hole? I have no idea. And on the top of all this, the entire Upadesh to us is that leave the attachment, vairagya, leave, abandon, give it up, no aparigraha. You're asking me to leave the world. If I'm asked to leave the world that the Lord created, that means the Lord's creation is bad. Why should I leave Lord's world? If Creator has created something, why should I feel like, or why should I be advised to leave it? And if I don't leave it, living here is also not equally helpful to me because it is so painful. It has so many uncertainties. It has so much of sorrow. Swami Vivekananda described in one of his best exposition of Maya as world is, or Maya is, a Tantalus hell. What is a Tantalus hell? In Greek mythology, Tantalus was a son of a Greek god, and being the son of the god, he was with the gods, but he created some ungodly activity, a very bad activity. So he was cursed in a hell where he is submerged up to the neck into the water, and in front of his eyes there is a branch of a tree which can give the fruit whatever you contemplate or you imagine. You say mango, mango will be there. You say orange, orange will be there. So there was a kalpa vruksha giving all types of fruits right in front of his eyes. And there was a huge stone hanging with a thread on his head. So slight movement of his head, the stone will fall on his head. He is thirsty to the core. He has water up to his neck, but he can't drink because it will move the head. He is hungry to the core, but can't eat the desired fruit simply because the stone will fall. Swami Vivekananda said that is Maya. If that is Maya, then my staying here is painful. I am supposed to abandon all my attachments to this creation and go where? Do vairagya. No, this is no, I am not father, I am not mother, I am not this, I don't want to enjoy this, food is not the enjoyment, possession is not the enjoyment, Vishaya Sukha is not at all to be looked for. If I abandon all the Vishayas and go somewhere in the Himalayas where there's nobody, what will I get? At least here I know, I eat something, I feel happy. What will I do if I just take something for survival? It has no taste, nothing. It's sufficient water only to quench the thirst, and just I'm sitting there somewhere in a deep freezing place. What do you get by that? And the Jivan Muktas who did exactly this, the Rishis, they tell us that you get Anand. Now, this is one criteria which distinguishes one who has left the world, one who has abandoned the Vishayananda, gets Anand. So what is this Anand that we are talking about? Is it something similar to what I get when I eat some good food, wear some good clothes, buy a new car, have beautiful things around, possess the most rare diamond in the world? What is the difference between the Anand that I get here? First of all, do I get Anand or do I get Sukha? Am I getting happiness here and he is getting bliss there? That which depends on the subject, object, or the Vishaya is bound to be what is called as happiness or Vishayananda. So happiness in the creation that I am part of shall always depend on the object. And why does the Ananda or happiness that I get in my world depends on the Vishaya? I depend on the subject only when I become the I depend on the object only when I become the subject. So having objects around is a fault, or me becoming subject of the objects is the fault? This is what needs to be thought about. Objects, there is no limitation. Why? When I was a child, objects were different. Then I grew up, I became young, my objects changed. A beautiful damsel became my object. I was a small child playing with the pebbles. Pebble was my object. Now I am a grown-up man. My children are my object. I'm an old person getting into Vanaprastha. Now my grandchildren are my object. The objects keep changing in the object-subject relationship. So what changes is the object of consideration by the subject. A huge amount of blast of dirt is coming because of the storm outside through the window. And I am cleaning the floor every now and then because another blast of dust, another cleaning I am doing. So what is happening? The cleaning process will continue forever because the window is open and the storm is there. So if something has to be controlled, it's not the cleaning process, it's something has to be done about the storm, which is creating the dust wind. So if objects are to be controlled around me, it will have no ending. In fact, the objectification of the object is not because the objects are existing, it is because I became subject for them. I thought myself as the husband, then the other lady became the wife. It's not other way around. The wife does not force us to become a husband. It is my thinking as a subject, as husband, that makes her a wife. Howsoever she may try, howsoever you may be put on the wedding pedestal and Shubhamangala Savadhan, nothing will happen to you if you decide to think that I am not an husband. The entire wedding process will go waste. The question then comes that if I do not remain a subject, and all my happiness is coming because of the object-subject relationship, when I don't remain a subject, from where my happiness will go? It will end, no? I'm not enjoying food. I'm not enjoying nice things. In other words, none of sensuous perception. How nice it feels to touch the fiance's hand. Sparsha. The cooing in the ear that the youngsters or young couple does, how nice the hearing, the shravana gives the pleasure and happiness. If all these go, because I'm no more a subject, if I decide to do so, then from where the happiness will come? So you are, in other words, telling me to end my happiness from the objects. So that's half part of it. When I do investment, the investment advisor says, please part your money and park here. So you part away with the money. That is half part of it. Then it comes back with a grown interest. That is the second half and the circle is complete. So you told me to get away from the objects. I do so. And then what? I am a standalone, forlorn, lonely wolf sitting in some corner. Are you trying to tell me that you will become a depressed person staying inside the house and never stepping out? Because they do that. A depressed person never gets into anything, never mingles with the objects because he's not interested in anything. He's just sitting at one place. In psychology language, it is called, there is no hedonism, pleasure. There's no hedonism in life for a depressed person. So are you trying to tell me that you become depressed, that is spirituality? If I have to abandon the object-related happiness, if I have to get away from the Vishaya Sukha, then I must be awarded with something better than what I was already getting, not worse than that I was getting. But the irony is, unless I leave the object, I cannot start the journey for the other happiness which is far superior to this. So if I leave this, it is like leaving a branch. You leave your hand from a branch, and then unless you hold to another, you will fall. This logically, Tarka, puts us back into a question that if the Vishayananda is removed, if subject-object relationship is removed, if bhokta and bhog and bhoktrutva is removed, which is in the case of all the rishis because they are paravairagi. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Gurudev, Swami Vivekananda, absolute no interest, no possession, no nothing as far as Kamini Kanchan is concerned. No sensuous pleasure. Then what they are getting? Which puts us back to a question, Brahmi Bhutata, to become Brahma, Atma Anubhava, is it a state of complete dissipation with nothing happening? Absolute nothing. Yeah, you are not subject, you are not interested in object, you do not perceive yourself as subject, object. All the world has completely been obliterated for you. Why? Because you are no more a subject. Then who you will be? If I am not the subject, if I am not the pramata, if I am not the one who is enjoying the world, and for a second, if we imagine that I am not a subject, then what I will be? Stretch the imagination. I am not at all involved in the world. In fact, I am not even seeing the world. Then what I will be? I'll be just like a stone. I don't have sorrow. I don't have happiness because my objective interaction is over. So once subject-object relationship is over, then I am the only one because nothing matters to me. And if I am the only one because everything around me is dead for me by not being the subject, then what is that state? In that state, what I'll be? I'll be a completely neutral, emotionless, existence-less. Because existence is what? Existence is proven by interactions. Now, all interactions are over. I come to know that I exist because somebody calls me by my name. I myself, when I'm working, I know that I am Dr. Jadhav, I'm working in this company, etc. So I know my existence by reference, sandarbha to something around. Now all that ties are snapped, all sandarbhas are gone. Then whom I am? Is that the reality? Where nothing is happening, you are as good as nothing. As good as nothing means you are shunya. Yes, you will be shunya. That is what Buddhism says. You will be a big void. Because void has nothing. That which is nothing is void. So void has no characteristic. So you slowly untie yourself from the things around and ultimately become what? Shunya, void. And logically sound. Yes. Is it not that when I sleep, I cut all the ties? Where is Vishaya? There is no Vishaya in sleep. Vishaya means object is not there. Sleep is a state where you are even not a subject also. There is nothing existing. Object is not there, subject is not there. Vishaya is not there, Vishayi is not there. And every day we experience that state. So what do we experience in the sleep? Void. Because if somebody is asked, in the deep sleep, what happened? He cannot even say nothing happened because nothing also is a negation. Ask a question to yourself. In the sleep, what did you do? You did nothing. Nothing also doesn't apply. Only thing is, sleep is for 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 hours. If you are able to sleep forever, then you are done. That is mukti. Sounds perfectly logical. But hold on. When the Vishaya is not there in the sleep, Ahankar is not there in the sleep as me or I. When subject is absent, when object is absent, then after the sleep, we should just say that I was sleeping. We don't say that. We say, what a sleep I had. Hold on, sir. Who gave you the feeling that it was such a nice sleep? Because you were not there. Vishaya was not there. But you felt that what a nice sleep I had. Who was that? And in spite of absence of Vishaya, in spite of absence of the subject, as Mr. So-and-so is absent, Vishayas are also absent, dream is also not there. In fact, nothing is there, yet you felt happy. Now, this happiness is something different. Because this is not Vishaya Sukha. Because Vishayas are absent in sleep. This is not my happiness as a subject, because subject is absent in sleep. I had no awareness of myself in my sleep. How can I say that then I was enjoying? Who enjoyed? Fact is that I have the trace in my memory that sleep was enjoyable. No doubt about it. Everyone knows sleep is enjoyable and everyone enjoys the sleep. Sleep is enjoyable and everyone enjoys the sleep. But who enjoyed the sleep? That is the main question. If the subject was absent, if the object was absent, then there must be a third thing. There must be something who may not be somebody, something that must have enjoyed the sleep. And about him, one who enjoyed the sleep, I don't know anything. Only thing I know is he was enjoying. That means the one who enjoys the sleep has a nature of happiness which is not dependent on subject and object. Subject-object-less happiness exists in the sleep. And if it exists, if that happiness exists, then it must be existing for somebody, something. That something is my nature. So now it's a very simple calculation. All you need to do is sleep forever. Two things come out of this drishtanta. One is, there is a happiness of a kind existing which is not dependent on the Vishaya or Vishayi. In sleep, Vishayas are not there. If Vishaya itself is not there, how Vishayi can be there? If objects are not there, because object is nothing else but in reference to subject. If objects are not there, subject cannot be there. So subject-object-less happiness. So two important fundamental concepts arise. One, there can be happiness without subject and object. So that means that happiness is different than the happiness that we get from object. In order to distinguish this happiness, the happiness that we get because of object is called sukham. The happiness that we get when subject object is not there is called anand. So in short, ananda is subject object-less happiness. Agreed. Ananda is subject object-less happiness. Now in subject object relationship, the happiness that we get from Vishaya is present till the Vishaya is there. When the Vishaya is taken away, it leads to lack of happiness, which is called dukkha. So in the normal life that we lead in creation, we have sukham and dukkham as opposite of each other. What is sukham? Having an object which I desire. What is dukkham? Not having an object which we have, which is not there, which I want. Absence of desired object is dukkham. Presence of desired object is sukham. This particular happiness, which is subject objectless, does it have any opposite? Because subject and object both are not present, there is no opposite to Ananda. Only Ananda is there. Can there be absence of Ananda? The absence of Ananda means you will have to come into subject-object relationship. That means you'll have to wake up. Moment you wake up, you again start the same story, subject-object relationship. So one thing, there is a possibility, rather certainty as per the Rishis, of a state in which you are neither a subject, there are no objects around, there is only Anandam, bliss. And that is why the Rishi says, why are you hankering for small, small drops of sukham in your current world? What is the point in licking the fingers? Dip your hand into the nectar by having this Ananda, preserving this Ananda. Now you cannot have Ananda because to have means it has to be object. And when there is no subject, there is no object, there is no Vishaya and there is no Vishayi, only Ananda is there, then to whom this Ananda happens? Because if that Ananda happens to somebody in the sleep, that means there is a third person somewhere. And moment you say a person, he becomes a subject. We have already come from subject and object, giving it up. Subject is absent, object is absent. That is when Ananda came. So this Ananda, this state of happiness, bliss, is for whom? It cannot be for anyone. It cannot be for a subject. That is why logically it can be concluded that Ananda must be the nature of that state. Here we are. Here is the point. Ananda, Vishay Sukha is for Vishay. Object-related happiness is for the subject. But Ananda, there is no subject. Ananda is for not somebody. Ananda is for a state. And when we say that something belongs to a state, that means it is integral part of the state. Now, because we have a habit of naming everything, that state is called Atma or Turiya Avastha. Actually, it is not an Avastha because state means state keeps changing. This doesn't change. For our understanding, it is called Turiya Avastha, fourth Avastha, which is of Atma Jnana. It is a state, it is a situation in which only and only bliss exists, in the form of bliss, for the bliss, inside the bliss. And bliss is not experiential. Subject-object happiness is experiential. You get experience of happiness after eating something as an object. This is not experiential. So non-experiential happiness. Stretch the imagination. Non-experiential happiness is bliss. And when there is no experience, because experience is something which comes and ends and goes. It comes and goes. So it has a beginning, it has an end. Non-experiential happiness or the bliss must be something which has no beginning and no end. That which has no beginning and no end is continuously existing. Continuously existing. So that means Ananda continuously exists, means existence is there. So Sat and Ananda exist. Ananda exists means existence of Ananda is there forever. So Ananda, one part, bliss, exists. So it is Sat, and object is existing, subject is existing, but they don't know each other. Mango is existing. When the season in the month of December, Alfonso is not existing. So the subject is there, but because object and subject are not in contact with each other, happiness doesn't happen in our life. There's a very nice Porsche car lying in the showroom. The happiness doesn't come. That's only mode. It's there in the showroom. Only when I buy it, the object and subject came together. Then only the feeling of happiness, pramoda, comes. So similarly, this Anandam, which has to exist, so existence, so Sat and Ananda is there. But how Sat will come to know that Anandam is Ananda? There has to be some kind of awareness that Anandam is there, because who is the one who is enjoying the Anandam? The one who is enjoying is not a subject, agreed. But the awareness that it is Ananda, it is a blissful state. Because unless I get into the blissful state, I will not stop getting into the Vishaya. Only when I get bliss, I abandon the world. Gurudeva says, this filthy world, gutters of vasanas, all that he says because he is having bliss. A person who is eating sweet can only say that that is bitter. Person only eating bitter things, how will he say that what is good, what is sweet? So that means the sweetness of the bliss has to be felt, has to be enjoyed. So Sat and Ananda gets conjoined with the Chit, and the trio is complete. Existence, awareness, and bliss together is your nature. Satchit Ananda is your nature. Because first, something has to exist. Second, that which exists must have consciousness. And something that exists that has consciousness must also be always basking in the glory of bliss. Then it is complete. That is Shvetaketo, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. That you are, thou art that. thou, you, who otherwise consider yourselves as subject, always indulging in object for the sake of happiness, not getting it enough, again desiring for it, because of desire, again trying to get object, again the object not fulfilling you. This is samsarati. You are going in a circular fashion, vicious cycle. Shvetketu, understand that that which is getting involved into this object-subject relationship is not you. You have misinterpreted your existence as Jiva. Your essence is of the nature of Brahma. You are enjoying the reflected sunlight of the water, thinking that it is the ultimate light. But that light is coming from the reflection of the sun in the water. So try to understand that reflection is from the original sun. Thou art that. That means Ananda is a state which is ingrained or bundled with existence and awareness. Sat Chit Ananda. And to reach that state, what are the criteria? Very simple, as a Sufi says, अकल के मदरसे से उठ, इश्क के मैकदे में आ. Very simple. Dissolve the subject-object relationship and enter the world of Brahma. And what is subject-object relationship? World. So the world that is created as subject-object relationship is false, not the creation. It is my interpretation of Lord's creation that is false. Ekoham bhausyamaha prajayaye. If he only said, the Brahman only decided to become Saguna Brahma and the creation, and in that creation also, it is Brahma's presence. Mayi adhyakshena suyate characharam. Nothing wrong in it. I thought it as subject-object related world. Vishaya Vishayin. That is when the interpretation completely turned by 360 degrees, and we created a different world. We inferred or interpreted a different world than the world that is created, which is false. The water is not false. It is the scum or the algae that has come on the top, which is making me feel that the pond is full of green algae. Remove the algae, the water is down below there. So water is there in the pond. It is appearing as some vegetative organism simply because it is covered on the top of it. So Janmadhyasya Yataha, the creation is from Brahma. The statement is absolutely right. So creation is there. If creation is there, then what about Ajatavada? They say creation has not happened only. Agaje ghadlechi nahi tyachi varta pusashi kai. Why are you asking me a question about something that has never happened? The world. Whom do we believe? We believe Gaudapada saying that the world is not created? Or we believe in Janmadhyasya yataha, the world is created from Brahma? Are these contradictory statements or there is something more to it? Because the Brahma has two aspects for our understanding, two aspects. Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma. Karya Brahma, Karana Brahma. We are in the Karya Brahma. So, Karana Brahma is the Nirguna Nirakara, Satyam Anantam. So, if somebody is in Nirguna Brahma, from his standpoint, or from Nirguna Brahma's standpoint, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. The one who is in the Saguna Brahma, one who is in the wave of the ocean, he says, I am in the wave of the ocean. But one who is in the sea, in the ocean, he says, there's no wave. The wave and the ocean are the same. Ocean, when it took the shape of the wave, Brahma, when it took the shape of the world, that is why Krishna Bhagavan, from the ocean standpoint also, because he came in the wave, he said, Mai Adhyakshena Suyate Charachara. Gaudapada is sitting in the ocean. Those who are sitting in Saguna Brahma, they would say creation is there. Rasa Leela, what a fantastic creation. How from the highest, only highest can be created. From the highest, only highest can be created. From the Brahma, only the best can be created. So Janmadhyasya yataha is nothing else but the creation from the Brahma. So Brahma has two aspects. Saguna Brahma, Irguna Brahma. Second aspect is by essential nature, Brahma is endowed with. For our understanding, we are using word like endowed with, made up of. It is Niravayava. But for our understanding, Sat, Chit and Ananda are the three components. They are not components. For our understanding, these three constitute the Brahma. By Chit, it is aware of, full stop. It is not aware of anything. When you are aware of a thing, you are not Brahma. Why? The Chit got consolidated or focused only on one thing. I am aware of the satsang is going on now. I am aware of one thing. If I am aware of one thing, I am not awareness. Aware of cannot be awareness. Chit is awareness, pure and simple awareness. Awareness of what? No, of awareness. Sun is enlightening everything. Sun is lightening everything. And everything comes under Prakash because of Surya. So Surya gives Prakash to the tree. Yeah, it does. So it is giving Prakash. No, it gives Prakash to everything. Tree happens to be a part of it. Awareness of the Brahma, Chit, is awareness of everything. And yet only awareness. Because Giving prakasha is nature of Surya. In that light zone, whosoever comes gets lighted. It could be river, stream, mountain, tree. But sun is not giving the light by looking at, oh, this is tree, I must light the tree. Oh, this is no. First of all, he has no intention. Tomorrow you take away the tree, it will still give the light. The chit part, the awareness part, is awareness. Because of pure awareness, he is aware of everything. Yet he is aware of nothing. Because his awareness is not for the sake of awareness of a thing. हम सब मा सब हमी मा हम है बहुरी अकेला. So that is the chit part, awareness part. Sat part is existence part, because awareness and bliss by itself can only exist if there is an existence first. First, the tree is there, then it has a flower and it has a fruit. A very beautiful fruit, a beautiful flower presupposes tree. So Chit and Ananda part is only possible when Sat is there. Existence, that existence which is pure awareness, that existence which is pure awareness, always in bliss, Anandam. This Anandam word comes again and again in Upanishada. Moda Pramoda Ananda, Raso Vaiswaha. All the Upanishads keep repeating a word called Ananda. So now the question comes that Panchakosha of the Sharira, we know Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. So the fifth layer inside is Anandamaya Kosha. It is a place where there is only Ananda. Now, whether this fifth sheath is Atman or it is Shariram, Kosham, because Ananda is the nature of Brahma. But here it is said Anandamaya Kosha. So whether Anandamaya Kosha and Ananda of Brahma, are they same or different? Because yogi, when he is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he is basking in Ananda. Tukaram Maharaj said, Ananda Chedohi, Ananda Taranga. I am floating in happiness, Tukaram Maharaj said. Now that Ananda, if it is Brahmananda, then when the yogi comes down from Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where does the Ananda go? It disappears. One question. Second question, if Gurudev was Brahmi Bhuta, he was constantly in the bliss of Brahma, Atmananda. We all agree to that. Our reverence, our faith is that Gurudeva was basking in the bliss of Ananda. When somebody is basking in the bliss of Ananda, can he also enjoy the food? Gurudeva was supposed to enjoy the rice and papadam. How the person who has got the ultimate bliss enjoying rice and papadam? Vishaya Sukha? Right now, almost 1 hour we discussed that Vishayin, subject, object is not the way we can get the bliss. And after getting that bliss, again he is enjoying ras. How? after drinking nectar, who will try to taste the clay? So whether the Jivan Mukta at the time of Vishain kind of a relationship or eating food, etc., does he really gets enjoyment out of eating food or not? Because Gurudev said, wow, what a papadam it was. That means he was enjoying the papadam. If he was enjoying the rice and the papadam, then he was enjoying Vishay Sukha. How the Brahmi Bhuta can enjoy Vishay Sukha? How one who has got billions of rupees is enjoying 1 rupee? How it is possible? So 2 questions are there in front of us. One, Vishayananda continues to give Ananda to these people who are Jivan Mukta or no? And second, if Ananda is there in the Anandamaya Kosha, then, and that Kosha has to be transcended, then is it that you transcend the Ananda and go forward? If you transcend the Ananda, then Brahma is only Satchit. But they say it is Satchit Ananda. So Anandamaya Kosha Ananda and Atmananda, are these 2 different Anandas or they are same? That is the question of this Adhikarana called Anandadhikarana. Anandamayadhikarana. The subject Adhikarana that we are going to study is called Anandamayadhikarana. And the questions and the background is what we saw. Now we can start with the prologue of Shankaracharya for this Adhikarana from the next session. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Any questions?
Sanjay ji, it is very deep, very, very profound. There is a point where we are not getting it digested. But almost everything is understood. Because our Pradasmarana, we have Tamasapara Marka Varnam Purnam. So that enjoyer of the sleep, ultimately after the deep sleep, I came back into the world and I enjoyed the sleep. So that I is existing. So entry and exist is possible, isn't it? To Paramatma.
Yes.
Now, this Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, then Anandamaya Kosha. So one is how this is differentiated. This we will discuss in the next class. Huh?
Yes, this is the Adhikaran. This entire Adhikaran is dedicated to the Ananda aspect of Brahma.
Okay, okay. Now we have there one point is there. You know, I don't know myself what is that lacking me to understand this very crucial, very critical point. When somebody is sunken, is deep into the water, he will not come to the to know whether the wave is there in the ocean. But when he is on the top of the water, he will come to know there is a wave. There are waves. So this is the differentiation.
Yes, very true.
But again, he once into the when we are our Narayana Gurudev has coined a very apt and very precise word for this awareness, which is called arivu. That means awareness. That awareness is the complete thing. But once we are out of the awareness, then we will come to know we are in this material world. Then we are in the subject-object world. So that entry and exit is the difficult part. How is, because the papadam is enjoyed by Gurudev, that we will discuss in the next class. Huh?
Yes, of course
Okay,
we'll be.
okay, fine. Thank you very much. But it is so deep and so profound, you know. Anyway, we will, the doubt will be completed by next class. Huh?
Sure.
Thank you.
You have many more questions?
Hi, Hari Om, Sanjay Ji.
Hari.
Yeah, it's really a profound subject, Anandamaya Adhikarana, and Vishayanubhuti and Anandamaya Kosha. Now, my main doubt you have already cleared when you mentioned about how a Jivan Mukta enjoys the food, a specific food, like in the case of Gurudev. In fact, our Prime Minister was also mentioning about how Srigandhu was so fascinated by Gurudev. Here, you have mentioned, it is clear that if you want to experience opposite of Ananda, subject and object should be there. Now, if one is capable of removing the, object will be there always, because you are in the prakriti, you are in the material world. So always there will be object. Now the subject, which is the self, if you have developed a capability of withdrawing from the attachment to the object, like somebody is using bad words against you, you can easily, if you have got a capability, you can easily shut your senses of listening to that or diverting from that and keep yourself in Ananda stage. That's possible. But how about other senses on our this Panchendriya? Like if somebody is hitting you, you cannot withdraw from that. You feel the pain. So is there, there are some people, even I think Socrates or there are so many jnanis who I think I read about in English, some English novelist or something. He was beaten and tortured. Still, he could not feel any pain, kind of thing. How you develop that one?
See, if you are able to dissociate yourself from the objects, body is an object. So if you develop the expertise of withdrawal of the vairagya, then the last stage is you develop vairagya for the body itself. Swa Shariram. In fact, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is a sutra which says Swang Jugupsa. The yogi starts feeling hatred towards his own body because this is anatma. And that is why when he develops the art of sanyama or the meditation, then in the meditation, he is not only able to dissolve everything around him, he dissolves his own body. In such a situation, when you are not identifying yourself as the body, for example, if I pinch myself, you will not get the pain because you are not identified with my body. I am identified with my body. So if such an identification is gone, then what pain? Even the torture, even cutting the neck will not affect you, because the one who perceives this pain has already dissolved, disconnected himself, because it is the mind where all these perceptions are going to be assimilated. Manaha shasthani indriyani prakrutisthani karshati. If that mind is dissolved, which means the body is, because connect between the body and you is through mind. If the mind itself is not present, and what is mind? Mind is not an object. Presence of vritti, birth of mind. And when vritti rahitya is there, mind is not there, then there is no question what you do with this body. It is like if your shirt is cut with the scissor right on your body, you will not feel the pain because you know that you are not the shirt. Same thing happens to the Rishi or the Yogi. Whatever happens to the body, it is like happening to his outer tunic. He doesn't feel the pain. That is called as Deha Tadatmya Abhav. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Yeah, Gurudev was mortal like that, and he didn't get any pain when there was a nail piercing through his bum during a discourse. Absolutely.
No,
Hari Om. Hari Om.
even try to read how many heart attacks Gurudev had. Just read how many heart attacks he had, and just read what he was doing when the heart attack came, how he continued with his travel even from Washington to San Diego. Read about how he continued his satsang even after heart attack. Read how he continued preaching when his heart was keeping 20 beats a minute. Hari Om.
Very true. He was mentioning the bloody heart is not alive in me. Absolutely.
Namaskar, Dr. Sir.
Namaskar.
The question is, you just mentioned that the world exists, but our belief or our understanding of the way the world is, the problem is there. Can you just elaborate this? I'm not sure if it is a part of next class. Otherwise, if you could just explain this a little better.
We always get what is called a skewed or a distorted view of the world. It is simply because if the person is drunk, does he see the same world as we and you and me? No. Because he's drunk, he sees the world in a different way. He sees things are waving, moving. Actually, he is moving, but he feels the world is moving. This is because he's under the influence of alcohol. Similarly, we are under the influence of an alcohol called Deha Tadatmyata. We consider ourselves as separate than the world. That is the common ill because of which we have a distorted view of the world. For me right now, when you ask the question, I had no doubt in my mind that there is somebody called Mansiji who asked the question. That firm is my belief in what I am doing, simply because I consider you as separate than me. This is the fallacy. This is Ajnan. And that is why whenever Ajnan exists, there is a distorted view of the world. Whenever Ajnan dissolves, the world all of a sudden becomes the real world. And that is why, though Jivan Mukta, though it is in this distorted world, he is like an actor in the drama who knows that he is an actor, while rest of them are acting, not acting. They are behaving as if this is the world. We are all actors. And when we know we are actors, that real world is seen by us. When we believe that we are the actors, the world view gets distorted. Hari Om.